All right, welcome to Recipes for Respiration. This is recipe number 5, mucus forming foods. In recipe number 4, we talked about autophagy and intermittent fasting. Now, when you break fast, what do you put in your body? And anybody who has asthma, anybody who has anxiety, this is critical. I'm kind of blown away that some people still don't think food has anything to do with their body or their mind. Well, go see for yourself. Do these cleanses, and to me, for sure, it's obvious that what I put in my body affects my body and my mind. Mucus-forming foods, generally speaking, are meat, wheat, and dairy, and it depends on what kind of meat, wheat, and dairy. The modern industrial factory farmed meat, wheat, and dairy are for sure mucus-forming foods. The body secretes mucus if it finds a potentially toxic product coming into the body. It covers it in mucus to protect the body from it, and it'll digest what it can of it. And if you're not intermittent fasting and you're putting food in on top of yesterday's food before a bowel movement, you're now pushing food into the intestines. Undigested food covered in mucus gets pushed to the outside of the intestinal wall. New food tries to go through to get on its way out to get into the colon. And this old food from yesterday that hasn't been fully digested adheres to the walls of the intestine and forms what's called mucoid plaque. And when you see skinny people walking around look like they've swallowed a bowling ball or a big gut, that's what that is. It's an abstended stomach, and it's years of putting food in on top of yesterday's food without having a bowel movement, and this mucoid plaque hardening along the walls of the intestinal path. And just think about it for 1 minute. How hard is it to digest food and get any nutrients out of anything you're eating if you've got all this mucoid plaque lining your intestinal wall? It's no wonder we're sick. So cleansing is key for these people, and you got to do it properly, slowly. Don't just go cold turkey and shock your system. But the mucus forming foods, coming back to the kids and asthma, and is really just go as long as you can. Make sure you have your bowel movement in the morning, then go as long as you can before you have your break fast, and make it healthy. So eat seasonally. Really just think what's in season. Go to the farmers market, see what the farmers are selling. There's no need to go into a grocery store at all in the summer, and eat seasonally. Fruits right now. The GMO versus the organic, the body has a hard time digesting GMO and glyphosate and all of this stuff. It's actually proving very harmful. There's lots of science on it. Organic whole grains are best to digest, and spelt is one of the easiest to digest, and it can actually sustain a person for a long time if you look at the history of spelt and the medicinal qualities of spelt or other whole grain organic grains. The dairy and the meat coming from industrial farming, these are tortured animals, and for one, I just can't eat or get my pleasure from consuming anything from a tortured animal anymore. It just is beyond me at this point. I have shifted from industrial to what I call happy animals growing in an actual natural farm environment where they do get a lifestyle that's somewhat natural and with their families, and as Joel Salatin says, they have one bad day. So there is that's a good way to transition to happy meat, happy animals, if you still feel the need to eat meat or animals. And yeah, just avoid meat, wheat, and dairy. If you do have an asthma problem or an anxiety problem, go off of meat, wheat, and dairy. Or if you have meat, make sure it's healthy meat, grass-fed. Not non-organic chicken is the highest in antibiotics. Probably the most unhealthiest meat you could eat. Maybe factory farmed. The cage farmed salmon is up there too with the chicken. And eat some whole grains that are organic, and eat small amounts. Don't go crazy and binge and stuff yourself, because that's what's causing these problems with your lungs, your respiration, the mucus. Dairy is also, pasteurized milk. I was raised on pasteurized milk. I guess that's the one thing I should say. If anything, get rid of pasteurized milk. It's like drinking a bottle of glue. And if you have asthma and you're drinking pasteurized milk, that's probably the problem right there. Dude, you could probably just stop right there. Just stop drinking pasteurized milk, and you'd probably clear up quite a bit. The fat molecule of a cow is like a beach ball compared to the fat molecule of human mother's milk. Sheep and goats have the similar fat molecule to mother's milk. So I noticed when I left the city, started drinking raw pasteurized goat and sheep's milk, wow, my mucus just cleared right up. So raw cow's milk, yes, it has the enzymes, you can digest it, or you take pasteurized cow's milk and add the bacteria to it, like yogurt or kefir, not with the sugar, not with the sweetness, just plain kefir or yogurt of cow's milk is easier to digest for sure. All right, so yeah, avoid the mucus-forming foods. Keep a journal, keep a diary, one food at a time. Don't torture yourself, still enjoy your life. Do your breath work, watch what foods are going in and when. The intermittent fasting and when you break fast is key. So, and email me if you need help with that, or talk to your parents, get them on board, get your brothers and sisters on board, get some sort of friend who can help you with this and do it with you. And let me know how you feel. I'm really excited to see people's comments when they say, wow, thank you, these simple changes have really changed my life. So be good and be strong and be happy.